Good morning once again. Today we'll be looking at this property management dashboard. I got this data from a student who created the data himself and shared it with me. On the screen here, you can see that we have the filters starting from the data start from 2022 to 24. We have the revenue, which shows also the group. We have expense, we have income, the property sold. You can also decide to add the group compared to the previous year. I decided to just make it a simple one. We have the revenue by month. In this visual, I show the highest amount, which happened in February, and then we have also the same thing, which shows the lowest happening in May in 2023. We have revenue by means of sales. It's a very simple bar chart. We have revenue by property type. Here you can see I made some changes just to make it a bit better. I'll show you how this was also done. We have our most expensive property in 2023. If I click 2024, we'll see that it is another property, and there is this description down here. We have the property sold. This shows whether it has been paid or not. We have revenue by country. You can see the countries here. So in 2024, we've sold more properties. We've generated more revenue in India than any other country. So if I click India, for example, you can see this shape map. Zooming in, see Mexico also coming in. Okay, so and then we have our best client and what they do. So you can see that our first two best clients are lawyers, so we should be targeting more lawyers. Okay, so without wasting too much time, let's open a blank Power BI desktop. And then as you can see, I've already uploaded the files. Let's go to transform data just to see what we have there. There's not much to be done there. Okay, so when you look at the client data, we can have some, you can see we have some null here. Okay, so let me take this null out and maintain the rest. We have expense table, nothing to be done here. We have property table. In property table, you can see the country, the type, the number of rooms. We have the number of bathrooms. We have square footage, the price, the listed date, status, and the image. We have the sales table as well. Okay, so you can see that some of these tables are linked by the property ID. So if you go to property ID, we have the ID here, and then we have expenses linked to the property, the same thing here. Okay, so let me close and apply. Then we can start our design. Okay, so let me go to model view and check what we have there, if everything is well linked. So we have the sales table here. Let me check the property to this side. We have the sales table here. Expense, maybe I can put it down here. Then what else we have? We have the client ID. So the client ID will be linked with the sales table. So let me take this here. Okay, so we save it. Okay, very good. Now when you look at this, for example, we need the years. So what we have to do is to create our calendar table. So as usual, there is this code that I use. So let me go to table. Once you get to table, I'll copy the calendar measure that I use. So let's use this one. And what does it say? What it's saying is to go through all the tables and get the date, the start date and the end date. So the maximum and the minimum. Then out of that we get the year, we have the month, we have the month number. This one will be, I'll share this as well, and some of the files that will be attached to the description of the YouTube video. Okay, so let me press enter here. Then I have my calendar. The next thing to do is to go to the model view The moment you get in there, we need to now link this table with the date and sales table. The same thing will be done for expense table, and the same thing will be done for listed date. Okay, so let me take this here. I click save. Then I'll bring it here. I'll click save. Now you can see make this relationship active. The first one I did will be active. If I make this one active, the other one will be inactive. So I'll leave this as it is. Then I'll do the same thing here. It is also going to be inactive. Okay, so let me save. Now I have my calendar table. The next thing to do is to bring in my background. So let me go here. I've already designed the background using PowerPoint. It's a simple one. So let me go here, images and icons. I have real estate here. So I can put it, but it's not going to show until I set this to 0. Okay, so we have this now. So let me bring in my slicer. The new slicer is what I use for the year. So I'll select the slicer, then I'll go to calendar, and then I'll select year. Okay, so it's showing some blank here. Let's just go here to filter. We get in here. What we do is we select basic filtering, and then we select all and take out blank. Okay, now let's quickly format this, and to format we go here. I'll just collapse this. Okay, so we go here. I'll take out the title, reduce the size a bit, drag it to this side, and then what I want to do is to off the background. I'll go here also. I don't need the border. Okay, so it's looking this one. And the next thing to do is to take out the fill, then add an accent bar. Okay, so the accent bar, you can decide to leave it like this, but what I did was to put it at the bottom. Okay, and the width is going to be 1, but when it is selected, I want the width to be 4 or 5. Okay, so when I select it, this is how it's going to look like. Now, when it is selected, you can see that the callout value is not showing. So I'll go here and then make sure I selected, and then you can see that the color is white. So I'll just select black, and that's it. And I want to make it bold when it is selected. Okay, I make it 13 or 14. Okay, so this is it. So when I select this, you can see that we have this, and I want one to always be okay. So let me leave it like this. Okay, I can choose to make it one should always be for selection, so one will always be selected. Okay, so when you go back here, you can see that we have the revenue, expense, income, property sold. Okay, so let me quickly go back here. Now we need to create some measures, and to create measures, I want to create a table in which all my measures will be. So here I'll just name it all measures. Then we go and then we start creating our measures. Okay, but before then, let me quickly go back to table view. In table view, you can see that, let me select the property. We have the price of the properties here. So you can see the prices here. And then what comes next is the status of whether it is sold. So our revenue will be the sum of this, and then we filter only the properties that are sold. Okay, so let me go back to this and add a new measure. Okay, so for that, I'm going to write revenue will be equal to, first we calculate and then say we need the sum of the prices. So sum property table price. So this is going to give us the overall total of all properties. And then I'll just say, okay, so I don't need the overall, just filter it by the status, property table status is equal to sold. Okay. So let's see what we have. I'll bring in the new card. Then I'll add revenue. Okay, so if I go to 2023, you can see that everything is okay here. Now the next thing to do is to calculate the expense. So let me go and calculate the expense. I do expense equal to sum expense table amount. So give us everything there. Okay, and then the next one is to calculate the income. So the income will be revenue minus expense. So income will be revenue minus expense. Okay. And then how many properties have been sold? So I'll go back here. Let's just go straight and calculate this. So properties sold will be equal to, first of all, we need to count the number of properties. So count rows, use the count rows function. So property table. So this one will give us the number of property, and then we want to filter it by status, is equal to sold. Okay. Okay, so this will give us the property sold. Now let me add all the four. So we have revenue. I'll make sure this is selected, and then I'll add expense. I'll add income, and then I'll add property sold. Okay. Now that one is not showing because we have it down there, and also we need to work on the layout to make it show. Okay, so I'll go back here, maximum cards. I want it to be 4. So we can put it on top here. Okay. So now I need to calculate the growth. How am I going to get the growth for revenue? Just like we have here. Okay, so let me go back here and create a new measure. And this time I'm going to do a straight one. Okay, so it's going to be revenue growth percentage will be equal to, so I'll divide. No, first I need the revenue for the previous year. So revenue PY. Okay, so then I'll do calculate, bring in the revenue, and then I can use previous year here. You can use the date add as well, previous year, and then add my calendar date. So let me go here. Okay, so this should give me the previous year revenue. Now I'll use that to calculate the growth. So I'll go here to create a new measure, and then it's going to be revenue growth percentage. That will be divide. So I'm dividing the variance, which means I'm going to do revenue minus revenue previous year. That will give me the variance, and then down here I'll divide it by revenue previous year, so this will give me the growth. So this should be fine. Let me quickly select it and see what we get. So it's giving us 36%. Let me make it percentage here. So you select it and then you go to percentage. Now you can see that it's giving us some 0.45. Here you can, if you want to limit it to 1, you just click 1 and press enter, and then you should see it this way. Okay, so now I don't need a category label for this, and also I want to reduce this to 10, something like this. Okay, another thing I need to do is to create a measure for the color. So what I'll do is to go back to all measures, create a new measure, and then I'll say revenue growth color, and that will be if the variance. So if revenue minus revenue previous year, if the difference is greater or equal to 0, give me green. Okay, as give me red. Okay, so now what I want to do is to bring in a shape. So I'll go to insert, I'll go to shapes, then I can use this one. Now let's see what happens. So I'll go to the shape style. I don't need the border, so I'll turn it off. So I'll come to the color here. I'll go to the conditional formatting to go and select my color. But before then, you need to select the format styles to be field value. Then I'll go here and say color, revenue growth color. Then click OK. So now you can see it's green because we have 36%. Let me go to 2024. Then you can see it's red because it is less than 0. Okay, so I can reduce this. Then this one, let me first off the background, and also I want this should be maybe 80% transparent, and then this also what I want to do is to change the color based on the variance. So I'll go to the field value, go to color, then click OK. So the color has also changed. Now I'll drop this on this. Let me bring it here. Or I can leave it for now, finish with this formatting. Okay, so let's quickly do the formatting here. Call out value should be 25. That's number 1. What else do we have to do here? We don't need a label, so I can take this off. Then I will go to cards. I don't need a border. I don't need any background. Okay. The same thing applies to this. I don't need the background for size and style. Then I add the accent bar. For the accent bar, I want to use this one. For the accent bar, I want to change the color to something like this. Okay. Reduce the width to 1. And then what I'll do next is to take out this one for revenue. So I don't need the accent bar for revenue. So I'll go to the top, card, select revenue, and I'll off the accent bar. So this is no more there. Now I can reduce this. looks okay. So I'll bring this one here and put this on top. Okay, so now I need to bring in my icons. So let's go to images. When you get to images, first of all, I want to apply one image for all. So I'll select on, just bring in that of revenue. That will go to all of them. Then I can go down here and limit it to 40. Okay, then I'll go to position, make it left of the text. When I do it this way, it means that I've done some formatting for all of them, so that when I bring the images, I don't need to come down here and be doing the same thing. So now I can select expense and change the icon. So I'll go to expense now, select the expense icon here. Okay, I'll go to income, select the income revenue, income icon. Then I'll go to property sold, take it out, go and browse again. Then I use this. All these icons will be made available to you. Okay, so I think we are done with the first step. The next one is to look at this revenue by month. Okay, so I'll bring in the bar step column chart. I'll select revenue. Then it's going to be by month. Okay. Now look at this. We have July, August. I want the month to start from January. So I'll go to month. I'll go to sort and sort it by month number. Okay, so it starts with January, but sometimes you don't see it. You just have to deselect it and then select again. Okay, so we have this. Okay, now let's format it. I will bring it to the corner here. Okay, this to the top. Okay, so let's format it. No title. Provide no title, no values as well. Okay, I want to change the color of the columns. So it's going to be, I have a color here that I want us to use. So I'll go here, use this color. Okay, so, and I'll go to layout, the space between categories. I want to increase it to 40%, something like this. Then I'll show the data labels. Okay, now what's going to happen is that I don't want to show the data label for all of them. I only want to show for the highest and the lowest. Okay, so let's do this. I can copy and paste this somewhere here. I'll change it to a table so you can see that we have the month and the revenue. Let me sort it by revenue. So in 2024 we have July has the highest revenue. Okay, so now I'll create a measure, new measure, to get us the maximum. So I'll just say max revenue. This, what I'll do is to create a variable that will put that max revenue. So max value. And then what I have to do is to use the max xs, max x, and then all selected. Here we have the calendar, we have the month. So we are going to use the calendar month number, calendar month also, and then get the revenue. So now I can close this here, go down here and return the max value that I created. So we have the max value here. Okay, So let me press enter and bring it in here to see what we get. So I'll select it. Then you can see that it's giving us the highest amount. Okay, so now what I want to do is that I'll go back to the mass revenue and say if revenue is equal to max value, give me red, else give me, no, let me use green rather, and then else give me red, something like that, just for an example. Okay, so let's go and see what we get. Now this is what I want to do. On top here I'll go to the data label. Then in data label I'll go to value and look at this here. So conditional formatting, then I'll go and select that max. So it's going to be max revenue. Then I'll click OK. Then you can see the colors have changed, and this one is green because it is the highest. Now instead of red, I'll just go back and make it white. And look at this. So you see that it's not showing, and we have only the maximum value that is showing. And then we are going to do the same thing for min, but instead of creating a different measure for that, which will be a bit problematic, we just put everything here. Here this is going to be main value. This I can just make it max main revenue data label color or something. So here I'm going to change this a bit. If the revenue is max value, I bring in green. Now else if the revenue is equal to main value, then I'll bring in red, else is going to be white. Then I'll close this. Okay, so here main value, this is going to be main x. Okay, so I think we are good now. Let's go back and see what we get. So you can see for the minimum 1.6, for the maximum 6.1, and this is in green, this is in white. Okay, so this is done. Let's move to the next one. The next one is a clustered bar chart, and that is revenue by means of sales. Let me check what we have here. Okay, so revenue by means of sales. Okay, so revenue by means of sales. So we have this here. Okay, so we'll do quick formatting. I don't need the title here. Title here also. We don't need a value for, no, we need the, yes, we don't need a value for this. We can show the data labels here. Okay, so that is fine. What else do we have to do? We change the color of the bar with this. Then I'll go to layout, reduce this maybe to, okay, so increase this to 50%. So we are here revenue by means. I'll reduce the title size to 12 or 10. Let's say 12. The same thing here to 12. Okay. And then the next thing to do is to off the background from size and style. And the data labels, I prefer it to be outside and okay. Now I want to give it some background, and the background color is going to be this, which is fine. Okay, so the next one we need to do is this. Okay, so this has a bit of, this is a customized one. Let's work on it and see how this is done. Okay, so I'll go back here. I can copy and paste this. And the next thing to do is to change from this to property type. So where is it? Property type. So you can see this one tells us that. Okay, so this is being hidden. You can see single family here, condo. So this property type gave us more revenue in 2024 than any other one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is either I show this or I go and do my customization straight. For those of you who want to just skip this, what you just have to do is you need to show everything here. So just go to your y-axis and then the maximum width, you increase it. Let's increase it more. Then you can see that everything is showing. Now for those of us who wants to try what I want to do now, let's go straight to the point. Okay, so here I'll create a new measure, and that will be our base. So maybe base 0, then I'll make it 0. Now I'll create another measure. Okay, so let's just add the base 0 to this. So I'll create this visual first. I'll click the visual first, click here and add the base 0 on top here. So you can see that is showing here. Okay, what we are planning to do is to move this label to the base 0. Let's try and do that right away. So I'll select the base 0. I'll go to conditional formatting, dynamic, sorry. The format is going to be dynamic. Then here what I'll do is to select selected value to be the property type, because we are dealing with property type. Okay, so this is it, property type. Now you can see it's showing on top here. So we can take out this now. I'll now go to the same y-axis and take out the value. So you can see we have this here. Now the next one to do is there is this bar down there that moves all the way to the end. So for that one, we create a measure, and then maybe I can make it a whole number or something. So let me just make it whole. Then it's going to be 1. Now that is in percentage. So I'll select it and make sure it is in percentage, and that will be 100%. Now what I want to do is to select the visual again and add the whole measure. So I'll go here and then bring it down here. Now there is something we have forgotten. What have we forgotten? Here you can see that this is in percentage. We are not showing the revenue value. We are showing the percentage of each one of them. So let's create a measure for that. Okay, so to create that group, I'll create another measure. So maybe percentage growth. So we go here. I'll use revenue. Then I'll divide it by calculating using the calculate function. I'll bring in the revenue again, and then it's going to be all selected. Okay. So let's look at that quickly. So I'll just bring in a table. So I'm bringing in a table. I'm bringing in the property type. I'm bringing in the revenue. Okay, and then I'm bringing in the newly created measure. So you can see, let me put this one to percentage. So you can see also this descendant, you can see the 75, the 7 million is 29%. The second one is 28% all the way down. Then all amount to 100%. Okay, so instead of revenue, I'm going to use that percentage of so we have this here. And then this, sorry, I'm not going to use this. I'm actually looking at this here, visual here. So instead of this revenue, I'll go and select this. Okay, so it's showing 100% everywhere. Don't worry, we are going to look at everything here. Okay, so the next thing to do is to start formatting. So I'll first of all go to bars, select the base 0, make it this color. I'll select the G percentage of growth. Let me check. So for this one, we make it blank. That's white. Okay. And then for the last one, for whole, we'll make it this color. Okay. So the next thing to do is to go to the data labels. For this is going to be off. For whole, I think we have it is okay. Now I'll go to my error bars. Now in the error bars, I'll select whole, and then I'll pass in this. Sorry, not here. It should be down here. Enable it. Once it is enabled, I'll go to bar, change the color to something like this, and then increase the size to something like 7. I think this is fine. Then I don't need the border size. It can be 0. Okay. Then the next thing to do is to go to my data labels. In data labels, what I want to do is to select the whole. The whole is showing the 100%, but for me to take it out, I'll just select go to value. Instead of whole, I'll bring in the percentage of GT. So we have this here. This looks okay. I don't need the legend. I'll reduce this size and then bring it down here. The title should be 12, and what I want to do is to maybe change it to revenue by property type. Okay, so this looks okay here. There is this background here which we don't need, so let me go back here and check. Okay, so the background is okay for this. Let me select A0 and take out the background. That's good. Okay, so we have this here. You can choose to go with the first one. That is fine. What else is needed to be done here? I think we are okay. Now the next thing is to, let's go here. The next thing is to bring in the sold properties. So I'll bring in a table that has the location. It has the location, the sales date, the price, and the status. So the location, the sales date, the price, and the status. This, we are not looking at this status. This one has only whether it is sold or not. We are looking at the payment status in sales table, whether it is paid or is still pending. So this is what we have. Now we'll format it. Look at the date. I'll select sales date. Then I'll come here and format it to be short date. Okay, and then let's start our formatting. For this, I don't need the line. Values, the alternate background should be white. Okay, I don't need a total. Okay, so I can go this way now and bring it down. Okay, so for this, I can go to, let's go to, yes, we go to Kerry Colosco website. We'll look for the SVG template. Credit to her. I love this website so much. So we go down here. Okay, so on the side here, you can see progress call out. So I'll select this one. Then we go down, we look at the state. This is the state call out. It's a very small one. Let's just copy it. Go here and then create a new measure. And we paste. Okay, so I'll change this one to payment status SVG. So here, this is going to be type, property type. Here, we may not need this, but let me just put okay. We may not need this. Let me take it out. Then here, look at this. This is what we are going to change. So to paid is going to be green. We don't need a third one, so I'll take it out with a comma. And then the second one is going to be, when it is pending, is going to be orange. Okay, let me press enter. That's all we need to do. So I'll press enter and go to this table, add that one, payment status. Now look at how it is coming. You select this now, you select the payment status measure, you go to data category, then you select image URL. Okay, so there is something that we are missing. What we are missing is, this is not supposed to be status, it's not supposed to be type, it's supposed to be payment status. Good. Let me press enter and see if it is okay now. Okay, so what is happening? Okay, so we may have to bring in that condition which was there. So let me go and copy it again. We go back here. I'll paste it. This is going to be payment status. So here we use payment status. And then this is what I removed earlier. Let's maintain it. So here we check if there is a property ID in there. So I'll select this and replace with property ID. Okay, and then I'll press enter. So now we should be fine. You can see it's showing, but the coloring and the labels or the values are not showing well. So here, what I'll do is to make sure it is paid, and this one is pending. Okay, we don't have any other one. So let me remove this and then press enter again. So you can see that we've gotten what we wanted. In case you have an issue, just let me know. We'll look at it together. So payment status can be taken out here. We maintain the payment status SBG. What I'll do is to just change it to payment status. Sum of price will just be price. Now we want to reduce the size of the image. I'll go down here to image size, make the height 25, and then the width maybe 75. Okay, so this should be fine. The next thing to do is to just make sure the background is off. And for the grid, I'll go to border, select this one and make it this color. So this should be okay. Now we need to work on our map. Okay, so for the map, I use this visual shape map. So let's go there and bring in shape map. Okay, so this is where I'll select revenue. So we want to show the revenue by country. So I'll select revenue. Then I'll select country. Now for country, what I want to do is to make sure the data category is country. You have to be careful here. There's county here, there's country here. Select country. And then what I have to do, this is showing the US map. I'll go to map settings. Instead of US map, I'll select custom map. In custom map, I already have the JSON map somewhere, which I also make available. So I'll go here, select the map JSON. Then I'll select this, click open. It should be able to give me this. Now you can see the revenue by countries. Now the next thing to do is to format. So let's go to projection and then select this orthographic. So I have this now. And then the zoom in. That is, for example, if I select Berlin, we know it is in Germany. You see, this is not nice to me. So I'll select the shape map again. Let me take this out. I'll select the shape map again. I'll go to zoom, auto zoom, zoom on selection. Okay, now I'll go to fill colors. I want to select, make sure my maximum color is this. I also want to go to blank areas, them to be white. Okay, then I'll go to the border and say I want the border to be this, my color, and this is what we have. If you put your cursor on it, you can see Canada, you can see Brazil here. If I select Berlin, you can see Germany will be auto zoomed in. Okay, so you can see now. Yeah, I can just deselect this. Okay, Now to help the user more, I added a table, so I can just copy and paste this table. It will be dragged here, and what I'll do is to take out the payment status, the price, this and that, and then I'll bring in the country and the revenue. Okay, now I want to sort it in descending order, and the next thing to do is to format that one to be, so I'll go to a specific column. I'll make sure revenue is selected, then I'll just select millions. This is okay. Then decimal places should be 2. Very good. I'll bring this one here. I think I need to do the same thing for price here. So let me select this. Go to specific column. Select price. I'll go down here, select millions. Then 2. Okay, so price also, let me sort it by descending order. Okay, so here the next thing I did was to blank the headers, so make it white. Okay, and the grid here, I'll go to option, then the row padding, I made it 3. Yes, this looks okay. Then I went to the headers, column headers. No, the grid, still in grid, sorry. Then here, the color should be white, so that I can take out this on top here. So this is it. Now let me add a data bar. So I'll right click on revenue, go to conditional formatting, select data bars, and I want to use my color. So I'll bring in my color here, and then I don't want it to be this way, just a bit. Yeah, so this is it. This is fine. Now if I select India, look at what is happening. If I select Mexico, we have this. If I select South Africa, we have this. Very good. Okay, so now the next one we need to work with is our client, number of properties bought, the revenue, and their occupation. Okay, so I can just copy and paste this. This, I'll use this rather. Okay, so I'll bring it here. Our client. So let me take out the country. So our client. So I'll go to the client table. So name. First I need the image. The name. The image is showing this way. So just select image. Let me go to data category. Make it image URL. So we have the images showing. Okay, so I'll take the image to the top. The name follows. Okay, so the number of properties bought. So I'll go to properties sold. That one should come before the revenue. And then we need the occupation. This is it. Okay, so for image here, let's format this for image. We have 25 as height. I want this to be 30 for the width. We can show the headers here. So column headers. The text color should be something like this. Okay, so number of properties sold, I can just leave it like this. Okay, and I'll go to grid options, then the row padding, I want to reduce it, so it's going to be 2. Let me see what we have in 2023, if the numbers are many. Yeah, so it's many, so I can just select it again and go to the grid and make sure the row padding is reduced maybe to 1. I can take this one up a bit. All 0. Okay, so this should come up a bit now. Yeah, it should come this way. So now we can see that we have our lawyers who are giving us more money than others. So let me just bring this down a bit. Okay, so we can put the title there. Okay, so now the next one is to bring in this also. Sorry, I'm doing a formatting for the map. Okay, so the next one is to bring in this visual, which shows the most expensive property. Okay, so we go and select the new slicer. Then for this, what I want to do is to bring in the description. Once we are in property, let me just use property ID for now. Okay, and then I'll go to filter and say I want the property ID to be, I use the top N, maybe 1. I'll use the price, then apply filter. So in 2024, we have 5 properties that have the same price and they are the highest properties, have the highest prices. Okay, so what I'll do is to select this, go to images. I'll add a property image. So this is it. And then I'll go to my layout and say I want it to be single column. That's number 1. And then the maximum card should be 1. Okay. So this is it. The title is not needed. So we have this now. And then we go down here and say it should be paginated. And then you can see that we have this here. So what I want to do here, when you go to property table, let's go to property table. When you get to property table here, you'll see that we have the type, bedrooms, bathrooms, square foot. So I want to create a new column that will have all of them. So let's go to home and go to transform data. When you get to transform data, we make sure property table is selected. So I'll highlight, I'll also make sure in the tab we have add column, because I'm adding a new column. So I'll select type, select bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and then I'll select the price as well. And then what I'll do is to create merge columns. I want this to be separated by comma, and the new name will be description. Okay, Okay, so we have this here. You can see single family. The bedroom is 4, the bathroom is 2. So we need to also make sure this is specified. So what do I do? I'll make sure I go to home. I'll select the column, advanced editor. I don't really need to select the column. Let me try and see. I still go to advanced editor and I get everything here. Okay, so here what I want to do is we have the type here, we have the bedrooms here. So I'll just click here and say bedroom colon space, then I'll put the ampersand here, click here, come and paste. This is going to be bathroom. I'll come here and paste also, and this is going to be square foot, so SQR FT. What else? Here we can add a price. You can just say this is the price. Okay, so done now. Now when you look at our description, it's more self-explanatory. So you can see single family, bedroom, 4 bathroom, and all this. So let's close and apply. Then we go to our report view. It's still loading. We go to our report view, and here instead of property ID, I'll just go and select description. So you can see our description is showing here. Now what I'll do is to reduce the size. So I'll go to call out value. Instead of 12, maybe 10. Let me see how I can show all this. I don't need to fill it. I don't need the border also. Let me make it narrow. Okay. And then the image size, maybe I should reduce the size. Let's just do some abbreviation. I'll go back to the transform. I'll make sure the property table is selected. I'll go back to the advanced editor, and here what I'll do is to maybe make this one bedroom BR, and then this will be, we cannot make it BR, so let's just make it bathroom. The square feet is okay. The price, maybe we can take this off. Okay, so we click done, close and apply, and then it takes us back here. Let's see if it is better now. Okay, so let me drop this and see. This looks okay. This looks okay. So let me take out the off the background. You can also format this to be 1 million. You add the commas, then we should be fine now. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to just quickly add our labels. So here, this is going to be property management or real estate. So dashboard, make it bigger, 16, we put it on top here. Make sure the background is also off. I'll select all this, make it, no, just this one, make it bold. This way out. Okay. Then this I can change the color to blue. So let me go here. Make it something like this. Okay, this is okay. So I'll bring in another one. This is going to be for the one down there. So I'll just make it property sold. Bold. I'll put it down here. Make sure the background is up. Now I can copy this and paste it. Copy, paste. Most expensive property in 2024. We copy and paste the same and put it down here. So for this, our best client, who are our best clients, who and what do they do? Okay. Okay, so this is a very simple one. This brings us to the end of what I'd prepared to share with you. It's a very simple way. You can make it better. You can have even a navigation here or a slicer here that will show expense. This one is only about revenue. That will also show expense, and then you have income on top here as well. So you select revenue, you have this. You select expense, you have everything again, the same visuals again, but this time only on expense. We have income, the same thing. Okay, so thank you so much. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. If you have any concern, let me know. If you have any suggestion, let me know. But you can still make this better than what I have done. Thank you so much, and then let's catch up again next time. Bye.